Howdy, y'all. Another day, more sideways trading in the Bitcoin world. So, just taking a quick look at the chart here, and then I'll get into the follow up on ARBK, Argo blockchain. But still just moving sideways. And, taking another look at this wave pattern is probably going to be wrong. I just drew this, I pulled it, out of thin air. But what I want to relay to everybody and to y'all and to whomever else may be watching this is that Bitcoin tends to trade sideways for long periods of time. I remember back in, what was it, 2018, 2019, 2018. It was 2018. In the $6,000 range right in here. Yeah. When this drop right here happened, I remember, feeling quite distraught, this whole area right here. And then it just began to trade sideways for what felt like forever. And even when it started to move up finally in 2019, this was ultimately just a bull fake out. So, because it continued to trade sideways and then get back down again into the $6,000 range. So, and unfortunately, I wasn't making a whole lot of money at the time, so I wasn't able to accumulate as much as I would have liked in this zone right here. But I did put money into Bitcoin back then, so that's why us being up here at 10 times that in the high 60s, $60,000, like. That's why I'm sitting pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna tell you what the majority of my stack is average cost at, but again, even in times like that, you have to understand like the amount of greed that some people are feeling right now. It's like they just don't have the ability to sit still and be patient. And unfortunately, I have been forced to be patient a lot of periods of times in my life. So this is just more waiting. And really what you do when you're waiting and just letting things play out as they may, you find other hobbies and ways to pass your time and, just, Bitcoin really just kind of, except for those that run mining facilities and, are developers and building wallets and nodes and things like that. If you're just a hodler and you're just out to stack Bitcoin, then really all you need to do is just find a way to automate it. Like on Strike, you can set purchasing every hour, day, week, month, I believe, a set amount. As long as you have money in that account, then it will purchase Bitcoin automatically for you. And then, however, so often you can sweep that into your cold storage. And that's a simple way to accumulate. And you really don't have to think about it. It's sort of like an IRA that is taken out, or a 401k that is taken out of your paycheck. You just automatically set how much that you want to purchase in Bitcoin every single week or month, or whatever your frequency is, and just dollar cost average, and make your regular purchases into Bitcoin. And then, like I said, sweep it into your cold wallets. And that is honestly the best way. And you don't really need to think about it because it will eventually play out in your favor over the long term, because Bitcoin has a set limited supply and it is a scarce desirable asset, like Michael Saylor has said so many times. So moving on into what may not be a scarce desirable asset is Argo blockchain. Now, taking a quick look at their stock, let's see if I can zoom. There we go. I have to admit that launching their stock in this period of time in the 2021, it had an up period. It was going up. A lot of companies were doing well in this time because in the late 2021 to 2022 era, like this was the height of the market. It was seemingly what could have been a great time to, what a lot of people were saying was Bitcoin was going to go up to $200,000. In this cycle, it clearly did not, and 69K was the top. And so for Argo blockchain to give it any credibility whatsoever before about to just extremely demolish it, they've not had a good run. It's a lot of it, I think, would have to do with timing, people not wanting to be in the market. And yeah, but at these prices, I don't think that you could go wrong. I think that you could easily, at $1-ish, it went down to 30, 40, 50 cents here back in the late 2022. But I honestly don't see it going back down there. You could probably scoop it at $1, maybe eventually. But I think it's, $1.25 is, fair. But I don't think you could go wrong purchasing Argo blockchain at $1.25, even still with everything that I'm about to say. So that's just doing a different sort of look at their stock based on the timing at which they released. So they haven't even been around a full cycle, but things aren't looking good for them. So the amount of Bitcoin that has been mined year to date, at least up until April, Argo blockchain is by far the smallest. It has mined the least. And they probably don't have enough. They're probably selling more. I don't know. They're not making this other list over here in terms of the number of Bitcoin sold, because I have to assume that they're selling more than 15 if they mined 418, because their expenses remain the same and their income just got cut in half. So unless they're just riding on cash and accumulating Bitcoin, cash from the sale that they had, I don't think they had that much cash on their balance sheet from the last time that I looked. Could be wrong, but I don't think that they're making a whole lot of money right now, just based on the amount that they're mining, every single day. They may have other income from other cash flow sources, who knows, but it's not laid out as far as I'm concerned. The Bitcoin miner BTC holdings, they are also one of the very smallest in terms of it's been reduced, and we also saw this in one of their reports. They only had 11 Bitcoin, so I don't know where 9 came from, but in 2022, December of 2022, they had 141, and then they had 9, which I know it was 11, but they also have the smallest. It's the smallest. Everyone else, all of these other miners have a lot more Bitcoin, in the thousands for Marathon. I wish Hut had performed better, but I had to sell them. So another chart. Ignore these red circles here; those aren't mine. And I don't know who these bottom two are, but Argo is also one of the smallest in terms of Bitcoin mining production and how much that their production has dropped off. So you can sort of also see about right here is the cutoff, because these companies that are except for Riot and I guess Core Scientific, their costs in relation to the Bitcoin mining halvening, it only going down 50%, and then some change is, to be expected. But if they have less than 50%, that means that they are taking more from those that are greater than 50% down in their income. So it just has to balance out in some sort of fashion. Also, a lot of their revenue is probably going to individual miners who will mine at any cost, like the home miners, the people that have 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 ASICs that just plug in home, and they've got some solar panels on the roof of their house that directly power those things, and they don't care what the price of electricity is because it doesn't really affect them. They will mine at any cost. So all of that profitability is being sucked away from all of these miners here. So the halving is actually good for the home, project miner, and not for Argo blockchain, as considering they're down nearly 57%. I think that's actually the highest. That is the highest. They are down the most. I'm not sure. Maybe they just it's a relation of how much they've been mined, but they are down the most since the halving. So, and then lastly, this is just a summation of the annual meeting that they had recently. So I'll just go through the bullet points here. So they mined 1760 Bitcoin in 2023, which is down 18% year over year due to increased network difficulty. I don't know if that means that they are down from 2022 18% or currently they are down 18% year over year. Either way, to be down that much is not great. So not looking good. The revenue decreased 14% to 50 million in 2023. They did pay down some debt, but I don't believe that they paid off all of it. They don't have a whole lot of cash left on their balance sheet, as can be said here with 7.4 million. And then they've got another 10 million in equity that they raised, I guess, from more stock selling. And then, as I mentioned, if they could stop selling, giving their employees and board directors stock as compensation, I think that would help things. But if they could do a turnaround, it's just the share structure is so attractive at 57 million. They really could be in like the tens of 20s of dollars easily. I think they could be, like I said, there are multi-billion-dollar companies that don't have any profit and won't have any profit for several decades, but they're able to get a lot of financing and debt from, angel investors and hedge funds and, corporate finance and whoever else. If this company is able to produce enough money just to stay afloat, I think that they're worth at least, looking forward multi-billions of dollars, because if they can just hang on, if any of these miners can just hang on, they will be worth multiples of where they are today. So despite all of the negativity that I just brought against Argo blockchain, I think at today's price, you still could not go wrong buying it at today's price. Yes, it could still continue to go down. And if they continue to issue more shares, it probably will go down. So you may, wait longer. But if Bitcoin starts to have a significant move upwards anytime in the near short term, they really could take off with all of the rest of the Bitcoin miners. So just a different analysis look at Argo blockchain. I thought I'd give it another swing. So let me know if y'all like this and what your thoughts are, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.